Hello everybody, hope that you are well and welcome to this evening's cryptocurrency technical analysis where we are going to be going through Bitcoin. I'll be taking some questions, I'm more than certain of that one, and having a good time on a Friday evening, Friday the 21st of May. What a time to be alive, no? What a time, what a historic moment in the markets. Every day, new history is written, every day is a day to be remembered, and tomorrow, a reason to be even more excited. As I've been saying for a while now, every day is an opportunity. We are presented with some of the biggest opportunities you're ever going to see. So in terms of, trading environments, we are in an absolute lovely trading environment right now. I know there's always these conflicting opinions. I've absolutely loved it, to be honest. There's now this 4chan story that's going around everywhere. It's just hilarious. The sort of things that people listen to, my personal opinion is it's just really funny. There's there's lots of different stories that can drag you into all these sort of biases or, viewpoints, I suppose. But I think at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I have proved it to you time and time again. You do not need to look at any of these news stories, at any of these outflows, inflows, all this sort of random sort of stuff, especially 4chan posts. I mean, come on. All you need is the technical analysis. Like, honestly, this is all you need. And that's all you can actually rely and depend on. This is the only way that you can make informed decisions. So we're all about technical analysis. So let's go through some technical analysis today. The question on everybody's mind, has Bitcoin started a bear market? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you reckon we're in a Bitcoin bear market right now? Are we heading down to $13,000? Or is this the opportunity for a $100,000 Bitcoin? What do you all think, ladies and gentlemen? Sheldon says, champion level is full of knowledge. Thanks, man. Worth every penny. You're more than welcome, my friend. My life has changed since I joined the champions. Much appreciate, Professor. Professor Moonboy convert here. We convert the Moonboys to bear boys. Much more fun shorting Bitcoin. No, you've finally saw the light and joined the dark side. Not a bear market. Conflicted opinions. Natural, normal, no? I think it's totally normal for where we are. Conflicted opinions, left, right, and centre. Some people saying yes, some people saying no. What I will say, ladies and gentlemen, is I will do this tweet right now for you all. What I would say is if you can give this one a retweet over on Twitter, that would be much appreciated. All you need to do is click the little love heart, click the little retweet button, and that is the retweet of this tweet that I will send to you all right here in the chat. That would be absolutely wonderful to let everybody know the champions have begun. Let's replace the pin tweet. Hey, that's the pin tweet. If you want to go retweet that one, hey, you'll make my absolute day, and that would be very kind of you. So yeah, that's over on Twitter if you want to go do that. Already 412, absolutely wonderful. Best community in the world. Best community in the world. Let's go. So, yeah, Bitcoin. This is my second live stream of the day. Obviously, I've already done a live stream for the contenders and the champions, and I hope they don't mind, but I'm kind of going to repeat the same things I told you a little bit earlier. And that was, we really, really are, I can say this really simply because I'm pretty sure I've done this on a public video as well. No, we are still, at the end of the day, range bounds. And we are range bound between the $43,000 resistance and the $53,000 support. So, I mean, at the moment, this is always the thing. You have to remember as well, like my style of trading is obviously more lower term time frame, arguably. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the way that I like to trade is level to level. So what do we mean by this? It is literally trading. Okay, so if our next level of support is $35,000 and that doesn't hold, well, then we look down to the next level of support, which we're going to say is obviously still $32,000. If $32,000 doesn't hold, well, then we can look down to, let's say, $28,000. So we are trading it into a level fashion. And I know, if you're in the group, you'll know some of the best traders in the group, and I want to say best traders in the world, all trade this way. We're all level to level traders. Like, look at Igor, I think literally one of the best crypto traders in the world. And he would say the same as me, level to level trading. It gets rid of these biases of who, we've said it before. Who cares? Actually, who cares if Bitcoin is going to $100,000 or Bitcoin is going to $10,000? If you are a trader, you actually should not care whether it goes to 10,000 or 100,000, because at the end of the day, you can make money while this market is going down, up and sideways. So at the end of the day, it really does not matter to us as traders where price is going. All we need to know is the levels to trade. And that's literally it. So, that's literally it. We only need to know the levels to trade. And obviously we still have the same levels to be trading as we did a few days ago. And that was obviously coming up to our, well, it's pretty obvious where the resistance was. Now, this was one of the most obvious ones that you could have seen. Support, lost, resistance. Like, come on. This is one of the most simplest forms of technical analysis. How many times have we taught you this? Support, when lost, flips to resistance. And you've had it clear as day here. Clear as day. Support, resistance, flip. And we all know this resistance really comes up to around $43,000. So, this is what I was saying to people in my members in my members live stream. Like, this is no real surprise to us that we're rejecting and coming back down here, because literally what was the prediction that I made? It was that we will be range bound between the point of control of the rise and the 43k resistance region. So this should really not be a surprise, in my opinion, to many people that we are. What a surprise. We come into resistance and we head down. That is not really a surprise, yeah? Again, I don't try and make these videos condescending. It's just like literally, this is one of the most simplest forms of technical analysis, yeah? So I'll just make it really, 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 really clear. Here, we have a level, let's say, and this level acts as support, yeah? Once lost, it flips into resistance. The same theory applies if we have a level, and let's just draw this as support to make this very, very, very obvious. If we have a level of, let's say, old resistance, yeah, resistance once broken flips into support. Okay, so this is like really standard level 101 level of trading, yeah? But it doesn't, this is the thing, trading doesn't have to be complicated. It really, really doesn't. So, obviously what we've had here is a support resistance flip, pretty standard stuff. I think we're all pretty aware of that. So that gives us, this is no real, I don't feel it was a massive surprise. So this is obviously our resistance region. We're saying from around $42,000 to $43,000, give or take. Okay, so we can just still really clearly label this as our resistance and have a guess. Will we still have this lower range as support? No. So this really is still our support. And if we are trading this level to level, we have our level of resistance and we have our level of support. Again, this one is impressive because let me try and find the exact tweet. Like, obviously we've done impressive calls recently. We've done some pretty impressive calls. I don't think you can really deny that. And do you remember this one? Even, got to remind you of the greatness that we do here. And this was obviously calling that point of control of the rise as the support before we had even tested it. So this would have been, oh man, in my members update a few days ago, where I literally obviously gave that point of control of the rise as the support. And then look at that, 12 hours later, we obviously come down and we tested it absolutely perfectly. So like, these levels are not, random. We were trading this level before it hit, identifying while it was here. That was the support I gave. We had a massive move, obviously, to the upside of around 20% bounce. Called that level to everybody in my group. And then obviously we had our rise to resistance, which is just our support resistance. So this is still our level of support to the downside. So this hasn't changed. Obviously we could start to say, is this going to break, pre-anticipating a break to the downside? But this is the thing. If this level doesn't hold, well, we would trade it down to our next level again. So it's just like the same to the upside. If we had broken $43,000, well, then we could start to look towards, $47,000. Yeah, so this is the level of resistance. If we break that, well, then we look to trade it higher to our next level. And the same here. This is our support. And if this support breaks, we look down towards our next level of support, which is obviously 32 currently. So, and I think this really is the most stress-free way of trading. Just think to yourself right now, how stressed are you when it comes to, And I say this to try and help people. Like, honestly, like if you are really stressed right now, if you are actually really scared about a Bitcoin bear market, if you are, you've got anxiety, I know some people obviously have had maybe one of the worst weeks of their life. Trading can affect people really in really bad ways. Obviously, there's really, you get the highs and you get the lows. And obviously, some people right now are at their very lows. Lots of people being liquidated. Obviously for many people, it's a sad time. We look at the open, I was looking at this the other day, of course, the open interest. We literally went from 3 billion open interest to, less than a billion in a few weeks. So that really just signals to you billions has come out of this market. So of course, people are hurting, people are upset. And all you got to think to yourself is, what's the reason why? Why are you hurting? Why are you upset? Why do you have this anxiety? And, obviously there's a mixture of reasons, and I'm not here to give not financial or medical advice. But at the end of the day, we can kind of, recognize what the problem is likely going to be and how one could fix this. And obviously, a lot of this anxiety and worry comes from the simple fact that at the end of the day, we are trading probabilities. There are no certainties in trading. So I think with some people, they get this sort of, or the market is, people start to then believe things such as, the market's manipulated, X, Y, and Z. They can start to come up with all these sort of stories. But at the end of the day, you just got to block all this out. And so how do you remove these emotions? Well, it is really simply, I repeat myself, but it is by doing your technical analysis, making a plan, and be ready for all the scenarios. Yeah. So if you are only bullish, well, you're going to get wrecked when it drops. And if you are only bearish, you're going to get wrecked when it rises. So you really do have to have this plan. Be prepared for downside and be prepared for upside. Yeah. So you need to have both plans, because at the end of the day, the market is going to do whatever the market wants to do. Yeah. We are essentially looking at this market to work out the highest probability trade. Again, I will never say never. Everything is possible. Literally everything is possible. Yeah. Everything is possible. So we want to remove the everything of the market and focus on what is the highest probabilities. Yeah. And again, we can make this very, very, we can make it pretty complex, or we can keep it very simple. Support into resistance. What's the probability after such a massive downtrend? The bounce itself being 40% to the upside. What is the probability that we just go straight through that resistance? Of course, it's very low, because it's not likely after a 40% bounce in a massive uptrend that we just break through the first, resistance region. Again, mine was up to $43,000. That we just break through that like it's nothing. Of course, the most likely thing is that we remained range bound. Yeah, and that is, that's exactly what we got. Obviously, from here, I actually closed 55% of my biggest long position, added it back on when we had the bounce off the point of the control of the rise. Yep. And then from here, we have remained in our range. So obviously we're looking for this to ultimately continue to do this. And what we're going to say is, if this support doesn't hold, then we no longer would look for this as our range, but we can actually look for a bigger range that goes here down to the overall low. Okay, $232,000. And if this low doesn't hold, well, we can trade it to our next level to the downside, which again, how do we derive these levels? How do we find out these levels? Well, we use technical analysis, yeah? Fibonacci and a whole different range of tools, but, that's what we do to find our levels, yeah? Just like I found that one on stream before it happened, called the exact dollar of the low, hours in advance. So, the level of technical analysis that we have is very, very high. But, we're able to call some levels to the absolute dollar. But, it's just this case of, first time you test a level, of course, pretty high probability that you bounce. As I've already said in my members stream, I'm personally not presetting orders here. What does that mean? I haven't got any longs like preset. Like, how $32,000, I had a long preset waiting. I was ready to buy, close my short and buy. Like, I literally had that preset and waiting. As you've all seen this by now, I'm absolutely sure. But let me just like emphasize the difference here of, what I'm really trying to, explain to you. This short that I had, obviously from $63,000, I closed that at 32 preset order. I had that order waiting in the book to close me out of the short and then go straight into a long. Yeah. So my exit price, the exit price was then my entry price automatically. So let's say, for example, I'm in a, let's keep it simple. Let's just say $100 short position. That long preset for $200 closes me out of the short or automatically opens me up in a long $200 short with preset. And, we're then back in let's say $100 short preset, $200 long, bam, close the short in $100 long. So that's what I personally had. That short position automatically would put me into a long. So I had preset ready and waiting for 32k because obviously I knew that it was a massive support. And obviously from that, hey, amazing trade, let's be honest, because we saw that massive bounce to the upside of 35%. So that's what I mean by I had preset waiting for this, whereas I do not have any orders preset here. Yeah, this is not such a glaring opportunity as it was the last time. So yeah, I do not have anything preset here. You can see I've got the alert ready and waiting. If it hits on the stream, it hits on the stream and we'll look at it together. But, this is the area that I'm looking too long, but I have nothing preset. Whereas at $32,000, I did have something preset. I had my short order to close and go automatically into a long. And that was a risk I was personally very much willing to take. And obviously it paid off massively. But I'm not really willing to take that risk here because, the opportunity is not as great. It's still a nice opportunity, but it's not as great. So I don't want a preset, basically. But that's still the area of support I'm looking at next. Again, if it doesn't hold, hey, I'll be more than happy to see it drop to 32k or lower because I wouldn't have actually bought anything there. So this is basically based off of a reaction. If it hits here, we'll look at it together. Be more than happy to do that with you all. So we'll have to wait and see how that progresses. Yes, you are all more than welcome to ask questions. Yeah, so if you would like to ask questions, let me know. And I will try and take some questions tonight, basically. Feeling in a good mood, feeling in a good spirit. So look at this, absolutely brilliant. 100k win. Thank you, you're the best. No worries, mate. Join Champions today. Looking forward to it. Robert, you're going to absolutely love it. CC pool number 1. Hey, thank you all for the support, honestly. You're absolute legends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What I will say, while we're at it, if you want to put me in an even better mood, you can absolutely smash the likes. Get these likes up to, I don't know, what should we get the likes up? Get this up to 1,000 likes at least. We've got 2,000 people in here tonight. That's quite a lot. Let's see if we can get the highest amount of concurrent viewers while also simultaneously getting the highest amount of likes. So stop what you're doing right now. Smash the like button so it turns blue. Turn the like button blue. Get that to 1,000. And let's see if we can get Bitcoin down to 35,000. That would be brilliant, no? That would be brilliant. You remember the other day when I was talking about this range, I was like, this is a crazy big range. It's like 20% range. And it really has, it really has come along very nicely indeed. So I saw this donation here from the guy. What did it say? I'm gonna have to look at it here. sonicboomtoken.org. Oh god, man, you're not gonna like my answer to this, I can already tell. sonicboomtoken.org. Their pre-sale is on Monday. I've been seeing this on all main crypto pages on Instagram. I want to buy it on Monday on the pre-sale. What are your thoughts? Honestly, mate, you're not gonna like my thoughts here. My thoughts are I have no thoughts at all because I've never heard of the project in my life. I'm not a guy that you'd come to for these type of questions. Yeah, I think you've got one of the best traders in the world right now, and you can ask trading questions to me any day of the week. But you ask me questions about pre-sale, it's a waste of it's a waste of your money, and it's also a waste of kind of my time because I do not specialize in pre-sale. So unfortunately, mate, again, I am more than happy if you contact YouTube and get your £20 back. Be my guest. Contact YouTube and say the guy didn't answer my question. Get your money back. I would tell you to do that. Yeah. So get your money back from YouTube. It's very simple. Contact them, and I'm sure they'll just I don't control any of this. So you have to contact YouTube, get your money back, because, I just have no thoughts at all, mate. I'm not a guy that does any of this sort of stuff. I'm a trader. I do not do any of this pre-sale stuff. So unfortunately, mate, I cannot answer that one. Yeah, sorry, mate. BTT. Yeah. Again, you kind of just want to ask me like Bitcoin questions at the moment. Somebody said here, the long that we took, so the long, let's load it up here. Long from 35,000, I assume you took profit. Now, personally, yes, I did. Obviously, I called this level in my group and I did take the long, but I'm out of that trade. Basically, hit the take profit one and I got stopped out. Yeah, so I got stopped on the rest. And this is the way that I personally like to do it. So, that we'll use this as an example. Let's just say we'll use this as an example. Again, I have not preset this time, but let's say, for example, we get this entry. Yeah, and we get an entry and then everything goes well and we do head up. Let's say we got our take profit one, which I would say is resistance now around $39,000. So we'd take profit one, $39,000. Yeah, that would be take profit one. And then let's say we build our way up and we build our way up and we build our way up slowly but surely. Let's say we come back up to the top of the range. Yeah, we could then say, right, brilliant. We had a take profit one here. This could be take profit two. And we would then keep a percentage of our trade running for if we break up higher. Obviously, this is the way that I was going for. I longed here. I wanted to just, see what would happen. Obviously, in the end, we had a perfect retest of the level, which is obviously a short, let's be honest, that should be a short you should be taking at the end of the day. But let's say, many people in Bitcoin, they only want a long, they don't want a short. Well, if that's the case, then I think there's no way in any world you're still in the long. If you're trading this on a serious account, obviously, if you kept trading on a trading demo account, that you might not really care so much. But the way that you really should be trading this is trading your stop losses. So you trail your stop losses up. So when the price ends up reversing to the downside, you're not still stuck in this long. Yeah, you've actually closed this long already because it stopped you out. You'd move your stop loss up into profits. So personally, the long that I took there on my main account, no, I'm not in that anymore. And I got stopped out of it. Obviously, stopped in profits because I moved the stop into profits and, hey, got stopped out when we dropped. So, no, I'm not in that long anymore, mate. Tip for traders who can't be at the chart. This is always a really, really, really good question that we do get asked quite a lot. So you have to remember, and I have to remember this myself, like not everybody does the same as me. Not everybody sits in front of their computer all day. So, obviously we have many, I would say the vast majority of our members are people with families, people with full-time jobs that are doing this on the side. So, we obviously get this question every single day. And so what I would always say is personally, even if, you're got a family, you're looking after the kids, you're here and there, you spend 10 minutes at the day at the computer, I would still say that personally, I wouldn't want a preset at levels. Unless, for example, it's like an amazing screaming at you opportunity. So on a level like this, I would prefer to miss the trade than preset it myself. I would prefer to miss this one than preset. If you personally view this though as like an amazing opportunity and maybe you've got a different time frame in mind than the time frame I have in mind, then you might be like, hey, I'll preset there. Maybe you've got a setup in mind that looks more like this. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, hey, stop below the low, I'm going for new all-time highs. Well, obviously, if this is your thought process, hey, you're going to be more than happy to preset there. Which you have to remember, my thought process isn't this right now. My thought process is, okay, let's trade the range. So obviously, with my idea of, okay, all I care about is this range at the moment. Yeah, that's all I care about. So that for me doesn't really equal a preset. Like I don't, it's just not worth me presetting when I can just enter it based off of the reaction. Whereas, if you are, in space and you work on a spaceship or whatever, and you can't preset, then obviously you might think to yourself, hey, I've got a swing trade idea. I'm in this for the long term. I think this is an amazing opportunity, and I'm looking for this. Then hey, then obviously your opinion is going to be a bit different than mine, even though we could do this. At the end of the day, if it breaks up, then you've snagged yourself a good entry. So it's very dependent on your time frame and your setups, of course. So it's a very difficult one to answer. Personally, I would prefer to miss the setup than preset and just like lose instantly. But again, it kind of comes down to how good the opportunity is. There are some opportunities that are so good you can preset, like I did at $32,000, for example. I had preset that 1 month, literally had it preset from March. So I was waiting, to coming on 3 months for $32,000, which I had preset waiting for. So that's like one which I'd say, happy to preset for. But an opportunity like this, middle of the range, second time of testing, it's obviously not such a glaring opportunity. Well, again, if your perspective is this, it's an amazing opportunity. And again, that's when you can look to preset. But for me, and my personal opinion, I wouldn't on this one. Yeah. So to answer your question in a nice way, I would say yes, you are okay to preset if you really feel like it's a very nice trade. I think you got it really. Unless you are, under my perspective, which is take less trades and win more trades. You're going to take a lot less trades if you do not preset, but I think you're going to win a lot more trades. So yeah. How do you collect data and derive insights from Bitcoin? I like to use 2 ways to collect my data at the moment. You can use SKU, which is a website which gives you all Bitcoin data. And you can also use exocharts, which you can export all their data. So you can export all your data to CSV files. And then obviously from that, you can very easily run statistics, as long as you know some few basic formulas. So yeah, you can use SKU, which is a website for Bitcoin data. You can view options market data, open interest, volume, spot exchange data. And this is obviously aimed at traders. It's not looking at like inflows and outflows. It is trading data. How many puts, calls there are, etc., etc. So yeah, I would use that as in collection with exocharts. Hello Daniel, how about CPR as a support resistance? The monthly S3 helped very good this week as the drop. What's your opinion about? I suppose that you are on about this. No, you're CPR. I'm not really sure what you mean CPR. Am I being stupid? How about CPRs? This obviously is an acronym. What is C? I'm not really sure. You're gonna have to say what CPR. Someone tell me in the group. Am I being stupid right now, or or what does he mean by CPR? I've not really don't know what you're on about. CPR. Oh, pivot points. That's what I was wondering whether you were on about. Obviously, I've loaded up the pivot points here, but I've never heard anyone call it CPR. I just call it pivot points. So yeah, I kind of guessed that was what you were maybe on about. Yeah, well, these are the pivot points. So he's asking the question here. The monthly S3 pivot point. I guess you're just using, you're probably using on traditional, aren't you? No, then you're going to have to like change around your exchange. Oh, wow. We finally back tested that channel. Well, if you're obviously on about pivot points, then I think, yeah, pivot points are good. Obviously, we do teach pivot points in the group. So, yeah, I mean, I look at them from time to time. I don't really have I don't really use them that often, but, they can be helpful. Obviously, like some traders in our group use pivot points a lot. You know, I don't really look at them that often, but you know, some people find them very helpful. Personally, I don't really use them that often, to be honest with you. So this guy says, if you do not preset at 35k, how do you look for the entry? Well, this is like the idea that I'm would look for example, is like a loss of the level. So you really do want to kind of see a loss. Obviously, you could just head up from here. You know, this is, like I was saying earlier, this is a possibility that, you know, everything's possible, that you just put in a higher low here and you come up. And that just means you missed the trade. Simply put, you just missed the trade. Don't lose any money by missing it. But obviously, the best case scenario is that you come down and you break through the level. Yeah, why is this the best case scenario? Because that's finally giving you the opportunity. So if you break through the level, then what you would look for is obviously the reclaim of that level. And that could really simply be all you want to see. Okay, so what do we mean by presetting? You know, if you preset here and price just dumps straight through, you lose 100%. If price breaks through, does a retest and continues to dump, you don't take a trade, so you also do not lose. So, you know, if you preset on this option, you lose. If you preset on this option, you lose. If you wait for the loss of the level and the reclaim, that's when you enter, and you know, you lose out on like 0.5%, but you got a much better opportunity and a much better probability, you know. So that's what I mean, mate, by like not presetting. And then, you know, some of the things that I'll be looking at are obviously coming over in here. You know, I'd come in here and take a look at some of the statistics that I like to look at, like which is our trade count, how's it looking on our volume charts. You know, the HLs, the time of these candles, like how much volume's coming in, the delta, the open interest. You know, these are all things that I would look at to make like a more informed decision. And again, this, I want to say, is kind of complex. So of course, this isn't for your average, you know, the average YouTube viewer, I suppose, doesn't really want to do any of this work. But I think this is the extra bit of work that gives you a massive, massive, massive edge. So, you know, I think it's worth it. But, you know, that's the sort of things I'd be looking for anyway. Yeah, obviously altcoins getting absolutely wrecked today. Massive moves down across the board. Wow. My $23 dot. Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not really that interested in the alts at the moment, if I'm totally honest with you. Like, I just, all I want to, let's remove that. So, you know, yeah, I must admit, I'm just, yeah, I have just no interest at all whatsoever in the altcoins right now. Like, what we have right now is an amazing Bitcoin range. Yeah, this is an extremely profitable range. Yeah, from the low to the high, this is a 20% range. So that is like a gold mine, literally a gold mine. So, you know, short the lows, long the highs. Like this is a range. And this is so much. This is what I mean. Like, people say to me all the time, like, oh, I need to trade altcoins because Bitcoin's too expensive. Or, oh, I need to trade altcoins because, you know, I can't make enough money on Bitcoin or whatever. Like, the thing is, you can make just as much and more money trading Bitcoin than you can any of these altcoins. Because let's be honest, people say this all the time and then they just end up literally just getting wrecked trading altcoins. Like, Bitcoin is easier to trade. It's more liquid. You know, it respects technical analysis with no worries in the world. It's just like, yeah, this is my opinion. Like, all I care about right now is Bitcoin. Like, I know when to trade altcoins and I know when to trade Bitcoin. And right now is just, in my opinion, like, I don't need to worry about altcoins. Like, all I care about is Bitcoin. Just being real with you, like, it's all I care about right now. Like, just because it's so easy to trade, yeah, I'm not really bothered if I miss altcoins, if I'm totally honest with you. Like, you know, I'm just concentrating on Bitcoin right now. Obviously, the altcoins, yeah, they're obviously coming up to good opportunities, you know. But, you know, yeah, until we see Bitcoin start to, you know, if we actually bounce off the, you know, around this region again, I want to call it a region. You know, if we bounce off of this region, we start to head up again. That's when altcoins might start to do well, because Bitcoin volatility can die down a little bit if we start to, you know, form the range within here. then altcoins might have a good opportunity. But Bitcoin, where it is, with the opportunity of like falling off a cliff, you know, or just like short, you know, just with this up in the air, no man's land on Bitcoin, yeah, I wouldn't be so interested in altcoins, you know. Wow. I just want to say thank you, by the way. I really want to say thank you. 100 likes and 68 retweets on the video. This is literally an all-time high on likes and retweets. So yeah, if you're watching this and you have liked and retweeted that, thank you ever so much. Honestly, that is really, 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 really cool to see. Nearly got it on YouTube. If you want to smack that like button one more time, turn it blue, get it up to 1,000, then we will have hit that 50% goal. That would be brilliant. The 1,515% long. What are you on about? Oh, yeah, you're on about the one on Twitter. No, basically I use cross leverage. So cross leverage is it uses your whole account as margin. So, you know, it means my liquidation price is so far away. So no, that was on my normal account. You know, that was on my primary account, but it's using cross leverage. So I'm not like times 100. I'm using cross. So like my position size is my average position is ×1 or less. Yeah. So I'm not a crazy high leverage trader. Yeah. So you got to remember that. Like I'm trading with cross just because it's the simplest and easiest thing to do. And I am also not a high leverage trader because I literally have no, if I'm totally honest, I just don't need to, for longing. This is for longing. I just have no need to ever leverage long Bitcoin. To be totally honest with you, I just don't need to do it. So yeah, when I like get into my longs, they're going to be ×1 or less. Patrick says, "Hi Daniel, love your channel. How do you know when to long or not at $35,000? I think I kind of explained it a little bit earlier. No, like what we really want to see is a loss of the level, yeah, and then a reclaim. And if you can get like trapped longs or trapped shorts, sorry. So if you like lose the level on high volume, high open interest, like increasing, and then you really reclaim, that's like your perfect loss, isn't it? Because, you know, then you see lots of trapped shorts. Like that's the most perfect scenario in the world, that you see lots of trap traders, and that would give you so much confidence to long that. Like that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day, doesn't it? Like it comes down to having that extra bit of confidence. And so if you see lots of trap traders on the other side of the market, that is what is going to give you lots of confidence to take the other side of the trade with 100% certainty. 100%. Exactly like you saw when you were coming up to these highs. Yeah. So when you took the high here, look at all this, 36 million open interest increase. See so many trap longs up here. This really should give you confidence to short. Okay, that really, really should. Knowing the levels that you're coming up to, knowing the rejection, when you even got a read, it's just like, this is a very, obviously this is also just like saying this, obviously in hindsight, it's very easy for me to say, but this is the exact same thing I'm saying it when it's happening. Like, you see those sort of things, and that's just a short that you got to take every day of the week. And if we see traps, if we see trap shorts down here, well, that's just a long that you have to take every single day of the week. But again, you cannot predict this. You have to wait and see. You cannot predict trap longs or shorts. You have to wait to see the evidence. Yeah. Then you move down on decreases of open. It's very, very bearish when you think about it. Yeah. Trap longs, squeezing them with new shorts that are coming into the market. Yeah. As price touched 42k for the first time in the range, when would have you been the entry for the short? I think the easiest entry was on the retest here. Yeah, this is a very low risk short. When you obviously have it's very clearly defined. This is the retest of the level. You're talking about, stop loss probably back over 44k, sorry. I think this is if you're really like new to trading, I think this is one of the easiest trades that you're going to see. Like this one, of course, is not easy. This one is, of course, I didn't short this first attempt. So, I would have shorted this one if it had hit 43k, but I was actually on this attempt here, I was waiting for 43k. Like I wanted to short here. Yeah. And so I did miss this first short. I think I took a scalp trade around here, but I missed the actual big short itself over the high, and I think I got into it. I got into a secondary short around here, if I remember correctly, where I took like a short, a long, and another short. But anyway, we obviously come down to take the lows, which for me was another long, and then when we come up for the retest, that for me is another short. So I still have that short running, and it's running from $42,000, and I'm looking for it to come down to here. Again, could we put in a higher low here and break up and short squeeze up into 50k? Of course we could. And we're trading the game of probabilities. So I just got to trade what I think is the most probable and, you know, stay true to my plan. So no, to answer the question, I did miss this one, but I got it here. So I'm a new trader with lots of profit. I am working through the content, but need more time to learn. Is there an ideal account size for a beginner? My honest tip for newer traders that are learning to trade with us is do not use a lot of money. Yeah, do not use a lot of money. So I think an ideal account size for a beginner is, you know, $100. I don't think you need to be risking the bank. Although you say here you're making a lot of money already, which is obviously good. But, you know, you have to think you are probably the exception to the rule. You know, 95% of the people that start to learn, even in our group, you know, most people are still going to throw their money away within the first, you know, few months. So it's unrealistic to think you're going to make a lot of money just because you're even learning from us. If you don't understand everything, it's not realistic to think you're going to make money straight away. So I personally feel as a beginner, even if you're joining us for a contender or champion membership, then I would still say $100. Why do you need to trade more than this? You know, because you're learning at the end of the day. It's unrealistic to think you're going to make thousands of dollars while you're a beginner. So, you know, I think as a beginner, $100, right? You don't need to risk the house to know that you're a beginner. And so it's good that, you know, good question. Of course, it's a good question to ask. And my answer is $100. You know, if you really want the thrill, obviously it kind of depends. You know, if you're a billionaire, then you might say to you, this is the thing. Lots of people always say this to me as well. Like, oh, Daniel, you made so much money this week. Why don't you just go and buy, you know, off topic, random tangent. It's like we were speaking about in the group earlier. I was like, right, I'm going to get going to go buy something today. And people are like, oh, why don't you just go buy the most expensive thing that there is? And it's like, you know, even for me, and you know, people that have money keep money because, you know, there's some people that make money and there's some people that make money and then lose everything. And people get rich, brilliant. But, you know, even really, really rich people, I think that they're still going to be somewhat clued on and not like waste their money on like all this sort of stuff. You know, saying, oh, why don't you just go out and buy the most expensive like car there is, or like, why don't you just go out and just like, you know, at the end of the day, I think even rich people are, you know, well, this is my opinion again, but I think even if you have money, it doesn't mean you just want to go waste it all, you know. So yeah, even if I was talking to a billionaire, I'd still say to him, what's the point in risking, you know, for you, which feels like nothing a million? You might as well literally still risk $100. So my answer is actually the same for everybody. Billionaire watching this or student with $10 to his name watching this. You know, start with $10. You know, you don't need to risk everything. Which NF top are you going to buy next? 20k or 40? Honestly, mate, I'll be able to tell you when we get a resolution from this range. That is my honest answer. I am literally waiting for this range resolution. So I'm on the fence until this range breaks, if I'm totally honest with you, mate. Hugo says, hey Daniel, what is your recommended process when chopping up charts for noobs? I think the easiest thing that you can use are my horizontals, you know, our daily, weekly levels. So that's got to be probably the number one thing. Just the horizontals, they're very easy, you know, pretty well respected. You know, most of the time, obviously catching that long of 32k. Yeah, I think like, you know, horizontals, then obviously Fibonacci. Simple work like parallel channels, and obviously you can start to increase the complexity, adding in exo. This is obviously increasing the complexity. So this is, you know, I think number one, horizontal levels, just like this. You could not even like looking at horizontal levels like I do. You could use a really simple horizontal like that. Support, resistance. That's the simplest thing you can do, and it's still effective. Does not have to be complex to make you money. So I'd say that, yeah, start off with horizontals, then use Fibonacci. Then from here, you can start to get it a bit more complex using channels. Moving on to exocharts. Again, if you want to like learn any of this stuff, if you don't know what NPOCs are, if you don't know what harmonics are, ciphers, marking out the higher term time frame levels, the dailies, the weeklies, looking at exocharts, looking at TPO charts, and all of this stuff that here, which might seem foreign to you, we have the full educational package if you are interested in that, which I truly feel is like, you have to view it as an investment in yourself. Like some people are going to say, hey, this is really expensive. I think at the end of the day, we are like, like your Audi of the world, where, our service is obviously premium. We are not, I'm not going to say we're the cheapest, but we do not really aim to be the cheapest. We think that we are the best in what we do. And so you pay for the quality, really. So, you think you've got to view it as an investment in yourself. You're going to get the service along with that, amazing customer service team, amazing coaches, amazing trading assistants, 7 days a week, almost 24 hours a day. Someone's there to answer your questions. So, also you got some of the best traders in the world, in my opinion. So, you can view it as an investment in yourself and learn. If you want to learn from the best, while we're here, make the opportunity. And, as if you're interested, chartchampions.com, of course. Thank you, Jesse, for the $100 donation here. It gives you a very big red space. Red for danger. What is this dangerous question Jesse is asking? How can you tell if there are trap shorts after the loss and reclaim of support? Is there an indicator? Jesse, if you are flashing around $100 donations, I think you can more than use the recommendation of signing up to Chart Champions. Because that's a monthly subscription and donation right now where you could literally watch the hours upon hours upon hours of content that we have on this. But basically what you're looking at is this. So I'll show you an example of the highs. Yep. So we obviously came up and we took the high here. And this is an example of trap longs because we took the high and we come up into an SR flip and you saw a massive increase in volume, 220 million. With 36 million positive delta, open interest increases. And then when you come back below the level, especially on this, open interest increases, massive positive delta, this showing you, you could say it's a bit too late, especially on this candle, you got the heads up. Yeah, look at this candle. Before the really big move to the downside, selling pressure coming in, changing market structure. If you look at this on a lower term time frame, the market structure would have been changed there. Yeah, so you start to see your sell volume coming in here, and it's not until like 10 minutes later that you got a massive move down. And again, this move down is 6%, which is massive. So, you start to look at these things like the volume, the delta, this sort of heads up candle, market structure change, new shorts coming into the market. It wasn't until 10 minutes later when you got the flush. So yeah, that's an example. And so the indicator we use is the footprint chart. If you want to learn about this, then we got all the education obviously on the website. Yeah, this is a very, very helpful tool if you know how to read it. Do you lend any credence to Wyckoff? Yes, I personally do like Wyckoff patterns, so your accumulation schematics or your distribution schematics. I do think they are useful. 100% yes. I know everybody right now is obviously talking about the distribution schematic. Obviously this is what everyone's talking about right now. So, I'm not really that interested in it on Bitcoin because everyone's already talking about it. So waste of time for me to talk about it. But yeah, I do like Wyckoff accumulation and distribution schematics, especially on altcoins. I like them on altcoins, to be honest. Some of the best altcoins that I've found of recent years have been off of the accumulation schematics. EOS, obviously, one of the biggest ones is obviously Theta, called Theta before it had that 1,000% gains off of an accumulation schematic. That probably is going to be the best one because that one literally went like fire. I called Theta when it was, literally before its crazy move to the upside. I called this 2 years. This would have been about 2 years ago. I called Theta off an accumulation schematic. So yeah, basically to answer that one, yes, I do like I do like Wyckoff patterns, to be honest with you, yeah. Somebody says, is it time to sell? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh, in my opinion, no. But you have to remember, my time frame perspective is different than yours. My opinion is here, we're in a range. So would you sell here, which is, you know, towards the bottom of the range? No. The time to sell is the top of the range. And we literally trade this range. If it breaks to the downside, we look to our next level. If this breaks to the upside, we look to our next level. The time to sell is at range high. The time is not to sell at range low. Again, I'm trading this with a perspective of trading the range. If you're under the perspective of trading this to $13,000, then yes, you might say this is a good time to sell. But I'm not under that perspective. I'm not under that time frame right now. And like, I can just tell you, like, hand on heart, the only thing I'm doing is trading this range. Like, that's just literally what I'm doing. So yeah. Man, this guy Jesse with another $100 donation says, thank you for the detailed response. I will sign up in 2 months after I earn the money back I spent on these two. Jesse, man. At least you got good humor. I like you, mate. That's funny. Well, there you go, mate. I suppose thank you. But yeah, to be serious though, this is what you need. This is what you want in your life. To be able to recognize like the trap sellers, trap shorts, like, yes. You know, this is the thing that, you know, this is what I might end with to keep this one short and sweet is, you know, not to say anything in specific, but let's just think about this for a second. Let's just do a random thing like RSI. Yeah. So with RSI, first of all, I have a sample size of 1 million traders. Out of the 1 million traders in the sample size, I think 1 million of the traders know about RSI. And I think 999,000 of them are using RSI every day. And then of the 99% that use RSI as their tool, or MACD as their tool, or whatever, you then have, you know, the 1% that use tools such as order flow. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily hating on RSI in the regards of course, you can create a strategy around RSI and you can be profitable if you understand your strategy. Hey, good for you, you know, and, you know, I'm not trying to put it down in that regard. It's like, if it works for you, it works for you. That's brilliant. What I'm saying is RSI is a lagging indicator, for example. It cannot give you heads up before the move happens. Whereas using tools like this can give you an entry trigger instantly. Yeah, so instantly you're looking at the volume as soon as it comes in. And another really big difference is we are looking at hard cold transactions. You cannot make this up. You can only look at the hard cold statistics and data in front of you. So we can see exactly how many people are buying, how many people are selling, how many people are closing positions, how many people are opening positions, the speed of the transactions coming in, how many transactions are coming in. So it's not just like, we cannot just see this and say, oh, this is 6 million transactions. What we can actually do is say, okay, of that 6 million order, how many of it was buys? How many of it was sells? Was this one order getting filled? Or was this 1,000 $1? You know, is this 1 million order? Or is it 1 million $1 orders? Yeah, these things are massively important to know. So this is why this is such an advantage over the competition. You really get an edge off of this because it's just hard, cold facts. Whereas using a tool such like RSI or MACD or something like this, again, if it works for you, it works for you. Brilliant. But in my opinion, as a guy that I think like a lot of people like me as a trader because I know elite waves. I know MACD and RSI strategies. I know EMA strategies. I know the ribbon strategies. I know how to trade channels, how to trade Fibonacci, how to trade order flow, how to trade TPO charts, how to trade market profile. Like, you know, I've done a lot of work that's just say that. Like, I know all the different strategies. And so coming as a guy that can say, you know, you might say, what's the saying? You know, there's a saying that it's like, oh, know everything but master of none. I feel like I'm the master of everything. Not to be too big-headed, but you know, I've put in many years of effort on it. So, but what I'm saying is, coming from a guy that knows all of the different theories, there's no way I would use RSI. So if that doesn't scream to you something, then I don't know what is. Whereas obviously if you go to an average guy that only knows about RSI because that's what everybody learns about, of course they're going to be like, oh no, don't use like order flow software, it's too confusing or whatever. You know, that's kind of my opinion as a guy that knows all the theories. I would still say that this is an extremely useful bit of software. Again, I'm not affiliated with this company, so you could say, you know, there are free software to use this. You do not have to. This is obviously paid software at the end of the day. I think it's really cheap, but you know, if you don't want to pay for something like this, you can use free alternatives. You know, you can do it for free. And I know a lot of people are like, hey, if I'm learning and I'm paying for your subscription, you know, I don't want to pay for another subscription to this software. Then hey, you can use a free alternative. There are many free alternatives, which are arguably just as good. Yeah, they're arguably just as good. So, newbie here, did you say we're going to 13k? Nah, mate, you got to remember, with that sort of thing, it's very light-hearted. Do not take it like seriously. The same with the title of my videos. Do not read the titles. Listen to the content. So no, I have not said that we are going to 13k. No. I said there's a potential, but of course, for us to think about 13k, we need to lose this level. Then we need to lose 32k level. Then we need to lose 28, 24. Like, we'd need to break so many levels to entertain 13k right now. So, you know, I'm not really thinking about 13k per se, or I'm not trying to trade for $13,000 right now. Again, I'm just trading this range. Somebody says, Daniel, do you know Ikemochu Cloud? The answer is yes, I do know Ikemochu Cloud. Somebody says, what happens if it doesn't hit 35k? If it doesn't hit 35k, it doesn't hit 35k. Like I've said, it's absolutely possible that price does that and it just goes straight up from here. Yeah. And if that's the case, I just say this. I missed the long that I would have taken here. You know, and me as a trader, I'm fine with that. You have to remember, I am so comfortable and okay with that. I'm okay with missing that trade. So the guy that says, what about if it doesn't, I think he's asking, you know, what about if it, you know, so if it doesn't hit 35k, it doesn't hit 35k. Hey, I can look for another setup. Like, I'm not married to one trade. I'm not married to one idea. I'm not married to one bias. I think I'm a very adaptable trader in the regards of, you know, before it's even happened, I have 3 different plans. I have a plan for the range, I have a plan for the breakdown, and I have a plan for the break up. Like, I've already got my plans pre-ready. So, you know, if it doesn't hit this and we break up, hey, I scrap that idea and go on to my next idea, you know? So if it doesn't hit 35k, it doesn't hit it, basically. What is the level we are currently at? Oh, right. You mean like, why are we hovering around here so much? Well, I think we're around the 0.5 fib now. Yeah. So you see here, to literally the absolute dollar, we have hit the 0.5 Fibonacci. So I think the 0.5 Fibonacci is a really interesting level. So it's really commonly used in the stock market. And you might recognize this. It's called the Dao Theory. Yeah, you should load this up and do a bit of, this is old school education. Dao Theory. So this is the Dao Theory. And man, it's been a long time since I've looked at this myself. Some of these topics, like, I have not read this book for like, maybe I read this book like 9 years, 10 years ago. Like, it's a long time since I read some of this stuff. So I'm obviously a bit, you know, it's not like I study Dao Theory every day. But obviously the Dao Theory is that the market will decline to the 0.5 Fibonacci. I don't know. There's a rule in here somewhere. Again, you want to really have the book. This is a snippet of a massive book. So, you know, we obviously don't have everything on this one web page. But basically in the Dao Theory, they're going to be talking about the 0.5 fib, 50% retracement. So it's very common in the stock market, of course. Not so common in crypto. But obviously we can see here we touched the 0.5 Fibonacci and we got a bounce back up to the 382. So, this is a way that I used to trade quite often. Again, I think my trading changes dramatically. Like every year I change my trading pretty much. Like even look at some of my videos from 2020. It'd be different than what I'm doing right now. I think if you look at my videos in 2022, it'll be different than what I'm doing right now. Like I feel like I'm always adapting, always making new stuff. And so right now, this is what I would used to have traded, like from 0.5 to 0.32. So then you can trade the range between these fibs. So it's very accurate. It's just not something I do anymore, but used to. So you can see here, you bounce off the 0.5 fib to the dollar, you come up to a 382 fib to the dollar. So yeah, to answer that question, mate, what are you bouncing off right now? You are bouncing off the 0.5 Fibonacci, literally pretty much to the dollar, and then finding the resistance back off of your previous Fibonacci level. Some guy says here, latest comment, how would you judge the actual contango? Oh, people are trying to test me here. So contango is obviously, you've got contango and backwardation. So this refers to your futures price up against the spot price. So spot is currently trading at 36,880 and the futures are trading around more or less the same. They're more or less the same. Obviously, you've got contango and backwardation. So you're looking for extremes. Like if your derivatives market starts to trade it from extreme prices different than your spot underlying asset, then this is when you can kind of use strategy. So if you have like extreme contango or extreme backwardation, well, then you're going to use, you could, maybe hedge yourself with some puts or calls on the options market. You could short a futures contract that's going to expire if it's, trading really different than the spot price and you think the market's going to head down towards the spot price. You could short on a expiration contract, for example. But I think there's no real extreme contango right now. Like it's more or less lining up. I'm obviously looking between Bybit and Coinbase here. The difference is $5 right now, or like here it's like the difference is like $5 at points, $20. So this is nothing really. I think you'll find a funding rate is going to be pretty neutral as well. 0.03. Oh, wow, this is obviously bullish funding. I'm surprised the funding is that big considering the prices are so close to each other. Well, actually, you see this was $5 different, and now suddenly you're seeing a difference of $20 nearly. So, well, there's obviously fluctuations in here, and that's obviously affecting this. But I still wouldn't class this as extreme enough to worry about. Earlier on this went back to 0.1. Yeah, so you can see on the USDT pairs right now it is 0.1, 0.056. So obviously the USDT pairs there's obviously a bit of a difference on the the perpetual swaps. But to answer that question, for me this isn't an extreme difference to really place any emphasis. And generally speaking as well, you want your contango or backwardation to be like over an extended period of time. This range has gone on for 3 days, so I don't think you can start to draw too many conclusions from this yet. You generally are going to be looking at like in a trend. So if you're in a trend bound market and you start to trend with like extreme contango, then you might be saying, "Wow, this is a really good time to short." For example, like you might say, "Oh, this is a really good short because futures are trading so much higher than spot." This is an unhealthy move, especially if like you're seeing volume decreases, open interest declines, tapering off of the volume. And you're also trading with an extreme difference in derivatives to spot underlying asset. And obviously this leads into a really good short. But in a range like this, where it's not even that extreme, I wouldn't really look into that too much, if I'm honest. I don't think you've got any edge in doing that at the moment. There is no. Amen. Somebody says there is. Daniel, you're you like the background. We are the wizards of the market. Somebody was saying, Daniel, you're a wizard. Yes, we are the wizards of the market. But like I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this once and I'll say it again. we are so successful in what we do because we're doing it every single day. And I will always, always, always say this: a champion can, anyone can become a champion. But how do you go from champion to, the ongoing champion of the world? It requires consistency. So yeah, I'm putting in effort every single day, and no one can, again, people love me. Some people love me. Some people hate me. Fair enough. But one thing you cannot say is that I do not put in more work than everybody else. Like I personally know trading is a zero-sum game. There are winners and there are losers. And I know 100% if I'm not putting in the work, somebody else is. So with that in mind, I know I need to work harder than everyone else if I want to continue to be on the top of the market. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Because if I become lazy and I become complacent, somebody else is going to put in more work than me, and somebody else is going to take the top spot, and I don't want that. So this is why I'm continuously trading every single day. Even when you saw me take one of the biggest wins of my life, I was still back at it the exact same day on the charts, doing updates, doing streams for the members. Took a massive, massive, massive win the same night I was back on the charts to give the next level. Bam, we hit it to the dollar. And that's the difference. I am here and I'm, I love what, at the end of the day though, I do love what I do. So it's not like I'm thinking to myself, oh, I got to come back tomorrow and do some more, I look forward to it. So for me, it's nice. But I think that's a really, really, really important point, that it is not just about, it's not just about turning up. You want to turn up and you want to actually put in effort and go the extra mile, run the extra statistics. Yeah, I think statistics are a really, really, really good way of giving you an edge. And how many people do statistics? How many people journal? Not too many. Most people come on. Yeah, anyway. Newbie here. Do you have math skills to be a good trader? Any equations beside your decisions? Or no, I don't believe you need to be a good mathematician to be a good trader. If I'm totally honest, I do not really think. Obviously, it can help. It can help when you're running Excel formulas and stuff. But I don't really think you have to be a good mathematician to be a good trader. I actually think a good gamer, and I've said this before, I think if you're a really good gamer, you can be a really good trader. And I think this is why I love to trade so much, because before I became a trader, I wasn't a gamer per se, but I enjoyed video games. Yeah, so I would spend hours upon hours upon hours trading, playing video games, and I feel that there's a similar set of skills or focus needed to be a a gamer as there is to be a trader. I honestly really do think that. So do you, mathematician aside, yeah, maybe it helps, but I think if you feel that you're a good gamer or you can game for long lengths of time, I feel like this is the most perfect thing you can do. And I used to love playing video games. Yeah, I'd spend all day playing video games. But then it's like, hey, trading now is my video game. Doing all the workings out, doing my technical analysis, using all the tools. This is essentially a puzzle. Technical analysis, these charts are a puzzle. And we're putting together all the different tools to work out. Look at this. We're using all the tools together to work out, okay, there's a missing piece of the puzzle and we need to finish the puzzle to know whether to long or short. At the end of the day, we long or we short. So 50-50 odds. So why is it so difficult? Well, the market obviously is not designed to let everybody in. So we need to use our bits of tools, analysis to put together the pieces of the puzzle to come up with an answer. And that answer is long or sell. And I feel that gamers are really good at trading, or they have the skills to become good, because trading is just like a game. This is our video game. I replaced video games with trading. I'm totally honest. And the good thing about this is you can literally make millions and millions and millions of dollars off of this, where obviously you can, maybe if you're in, maybe you go to the World Series on gaming, but hey, it's pretty hard to get into that, whereas trading is very easy and very accessible. And I replaced playing Call of Duty with doing trades, and hey, Would not change it for the world, to be honest. This is more fun and you make a lot more money, so it's nice. So yeah, to answer that question, mate, it's all about the charts. This guy says you called 32k, but it really went to 28. Oh man, yeah, man. I must suck now. I must be so bad at trading. I called 32k from $63,000 and it went to 28k. Shame on me, guys. Shame on me. Damn, I suck at trading now. How did I miss that? Had the short from $63,000. Was calling for that while everyone else was bullish up at the highs, and damn, it went to 28. It didn't actually go to 28 on my exchange. On my exchange where I trade Bybit, the low was actually $30,000. So actually, mate, it only went to 30k. First of all, and second of all, I'd been calling for 32k since $60,000. So, you have to give me a bit of margin of there and there. I was close enough. I think close enough. Whether we got in at 30k or 32k, that was still a massive 30% bounce in 2 days. Come on. I know I'm good, but you have to give me a little bit of leeway. Oh, so this guy says Counter-Strike or The Witcher. For me, it has to be The Witcher. Yeah, I love The Witcher. I am a massive The Witcher fan. Witcher 2 was probably my favorite game. I love Witcher 3 as well, don't get me wrong. I love Witcher 3, but Witcher 2 was really cool. Yeah, I'm a Witcher fan. I like Counter-Strike though. Like I do like Counter-Strike. But between the two, I would have to go to Witcher. I like single player games. I do love multiplayer games as well, though, don't get me wrong. Like, well, the thing is, I don't like Call of Duty that much anymore. Like, I was a Modern Warfare 2 fan. So I would play, my game time on Modern Warfare 2 is like over 100 days. I put so much time into Modern Warfare 2. I loved that game. Like, I loved that game so much. Whereas now the CODs for me are like so boring. I don't know. They just don't have the same feel. But I guess it was like back in the day, like you'd get home from school, all your mates would be on Xbox Live, and it'd be so fun. Whereas I don't know, it's not the same anymore, is it? But yeah, Modern Warfare 2, man, love that game. That's the number one. But between those two, has to be The Witcher. Are you personally also invested in Bitcoin, or are you only trading it? I do also would say that I am actually invested in Bitcoin now as well. Yeah, so. Obviously, I do both. Primarily, of course, all trading. But yeah, I do also hold some offline Bitcoin, which is also, for me now, also just a case of, I don't want to call it a hedge. I just want to call it like, I do not want all my money in bank. And also, a lot of my banks are like kicking me out and they don't want anything to do with me. So I had to basically have no option but to go to crypto. Are we on the range point of control now? Well, this might have actually changed, to be fair. Yeah, we are, mate. So we are. Yes, we are on the new range point of control at the moment. Yes, we are, mate. And thanks for your group. No worries, mate. You are more than welcome. Wolfgang says, what do you think about Heikin-Ashi bars? Does it have disadvantages against candle bars? A lot of people are going to say, use Renko charts, use Heikin-Ashi, use Japanese candlesticks, use X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, there's no advantages or disadvantages to either. It comes down to what you can read the best. So I do not use Heikin-Ashi candles. I use Japanese candlesticks, or when I'm on here, which I think is the best, is actually not using a time frame. So you will notice this is my day trading template, and I'm using volume candles. So you will know in our group, we will regularly use a candle which is for volume. So each candle, doesn't matter whether it takes 1 minute, 10 minutes, an hour. Each candle is made after 10 million volume. You can also use a range, tick, range Y, delta candles, point and figure charts, trend reversal charts. Like you will know Mike coach in the group, really likes to use trend reversal charts. So like this is nothing to do with time frames. Yeah. So this is all to do with the range and then obviously the reversal of it. So, you change to a trend reversal chart and it doesn't matter about the time frames. And I actually think that this is a better way than looking at it than a time frame. So, you ask me about Hikinashi candles or Japanese candlesticks. I think, something like a trend reversal chart or a volume chart is better than a time frame candlestick. Yeah. Again, if you want to like learn about this in depth, like the different types of charts here, like trend reversal charts, range charts, volume charts, we obviously have all that education on the website again. So says, if you take a fib from September the 2nd to all-time high, take a look at this then. September the 2nd. (2020). All-time high. We bounced off of the CC. You are absolutely correct. We did. Yep, we did. Good spot there, mate. We did bounce off that CC. Obviously, we had so much confluence at 30k. Like, that's why I was so happy to preset there. We had more than just... We had like 6 different reasons to long there. Yeah. There was so much reasons to long about 30k, about $30,000. Like, so many reasons to long. So, yeah, we also did have that good spot. To be honest, yeah, really good spot. And... yeah, that adds another layer. Like, there was just so many reasons to long that. There really was. I think I'm going to do this last question before I wrap it up here. And this last question is, hi Dan, which country is best to access Bybit from via VPN from UK? Want a fresh account, probably a bit late for CC. Yeah, obviously it's a bit too late to join the competition now, that's already started, but I don't know, you can literally choose any country, to be honest with you, as long as it's not like UK or America. Obviously I don't really give advice about which countries and things like this to use. I cannot really give that sort of advice, but, I'm sure if you ask in Discord, many people will be able to tell you this, but I don't really want to give any advice like that on this stream. All I can say is obviously, Bybit is an exchange from Singapore. Any EU country is basically allowed, so all the EU countries are perfectly allowed. That's all I'll say on that. But again, I'm not really giving advice or telling you what to do with this. Yeah, I will end with this then. On Sunday, we have the next Champions live stream, which is obviously Sunday the 23rd. I'm going to be going through my personal trading plan. Last week in the Champions live stream, which would have been... last week was the 15th. I was very bearish in my last live stream on the 15th, where my exact words were, I will absolutely love when this goes to $32,000. So last week, safe to say, I was bearish and I was looking for 32k. A few days later, we absolutely nailed that one, bounced off of 32k. So for my next plan, that will be obviously Sunday. I will delete all of my technical analysis. So everything that you see on my charts will be deleted. I'll start it from scratch and I'll go through my next trading plan, which is obviously going through the entry, the stop loss and the target and the reasons why. So I think it's a very good learning series, as well as just knowing how I'm going to trade next. That will obviously be on Sunday. I'm around literally Discord every single day. And so are all the team. Yeah. So you've obviously got the whole team behind you as well. So even right now, this is the thing. You can almost guarantee Trading Assistant will be online right now answering people's questions. So, you just have the most dedicated team. Look, this guy is just insane. So he is amazing. Any question, this guy, even as we're speaking, is still online, answering people's questions. I think we have the best team in the world. I love it. Like, love you trading assistants so much. Customer service is an absolute legend. The All-Stars, I think some of the best traders in the world. Mike, coach. Victor, coach. Myself. Hey, we got a good team. I love it. And what can I say? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more for the educational side, that's the contenders at chartchampions.com for, having access to my personal updates and, helping the day. That's for the champions. For everybody else, stick around, and we do so many, at the end of the day, we do a lot of free stuff as well. So, I think there's something for everybody, really. Yeah, so I do hope that you've really enjoyed tonight's live stream. That's going to be me signing off. The wizards are finito. Thank you ever so much, everybody. I hope you do have a brilliant weekend. Remember, at the end of the day, I'll end with saying this. At the end of the day, whether you've made money this week, whether you've lost money this week, maybe you've not even traded this week. At the end of the day, the most important thing in your life is not how much money you're making. This is secondary at the end of the day. Your total focus should be, and I need to remind myself this sometimes. This is why I even say it like out loud. Like, I try and remind myself, like, at the end of the day, it's not the money, it's not the charts, it's not the fame, it's not the fortunes. The most important thing is your family, and it is your friends. So I say this while also reminding myself, this weekend, do something special, do something, that will give somebody else a smile, treat somebody else. Go up to I like to just go up to a random homeless guy in your town, offer him a hotel, offer him, if you don't have that, offer him a Greg's, give him a hot bit of food. I guarantee if even, actually, you don't even need to buy these people. You just go up and speak to them. They get treated by trash by lots of people. So just having a conversation with them, something like this, go and do something this weekend that will make you, appreciate what you have, I suppose, at the end of the day, because what you have today, I've said this before, like right now, personally, I'm really, really happy and everything's really good, but I know tomorrow my life can be down in the dumps, really sad. And the same goes for you. Like, you could be really, really sad right now, and tomorrow you can be really, really happy. So like, life has this thing of just like throwing your world upside down at the most unexpected times. So you can be like, I just think about this like all the time for me, because it's really important to like keep myself grounded. Like, it sometimes even gets me emotional, like thinking about it, but like how life literally can just switch like instantly, where you are literally just, everything is really good and everything is really happy. And then suddenly like you're really depressed and sad. And, when you really remember that, no money is going to actually change this. So, this is why it's so important to like, treat your family well, like never end on a bad note with family. And then like with your friends, just treat your friends. And like, you see somebody struggling on the street, help somebody on the street, I think, I think it's just beautiful what you can do. Yeah. To, at the end of the day, you don't need to spend money to help other people. You can just talking to people is, actually a really nice way to help them. So, yeah, that's all I'll say. I'm going to wrap it up. So, yeah, thank you, everybody. I hope that you have enjoyed the stream. And, yeah, have a good weekend, I suppose. Thank you ever so much. And, yeah, I'll catch you over in the Discord, or for the next live stream, that will be Sunday evening. So thank you, everybody. Have a good one, and goodbye. Cheers.